Good morning, everybody. My name's Adam Blansky, and your host here today, going live with all of our social media platforms. I am founder and CEO of Sierra Pacific Group, and I am excited. I'm going to go ahead and bring Sean on because I know we're starting a little late this morning. Sean, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
I know this is like bam.
I'm great. I'm recovering from vacation. I'm still on Jamaican time.
Wait,
I
isn't
think,
that the same time?
as a matter of fact,
Eastern?
it's central. By the way, it's central. First off, second off, I'm contemplating just quitting all my job here and going and becoming a taxi driver in Jamaica because, my lord, I paid them a lot of money this past week.
I thought you could walk between the resorts, is what you were explaining to me.
No, I went. Well, I went places.
Toured.
Yeah,
You toured. You go places.
and I
Nice.
spent a lot of money. Either that, or I just need to start selling cigars on the beach or something. Like, seriously.
Nice. But we are here to talk about PitchIT. So it is PitchIT season, and we have what, 28, 27 contestants?
27. Yes. So, all right, we'll make it quick because I know we're past time. So, PitchIT. It is a Shark Tank competition, right? ConnectWise is looking for the best of the best vendors that are startups, right? That have actual, not concepts, but actually a working service or product that they have clients under, right? They're using it, because we're not here to pay for your great idea. This is not the invention website, But anyway, and we're looking for the best of the best that are actually able to complement what we're trying to accomplish here, which is to make it easier to do business with, right? And that's within the system and integrate within this ConnectWise platform. That's why I jumped to the promises, because we're investing even more in partner growth by doing this program and helping these vendors to grow with us. Now, all these vendors, they are partners of ours. They are looking to become more involved in their reinvestment into the community. But the most importantly, though, they provide a product or service that is going to help the MSPs. That's what the most important thing for us is there, and it's the easiest way for us to really guarantee more innovation faster. Yes, long story short, we know we have a whole 16 weeks of incubator accelerator program, but the ultimate goal for all these guys is to become one of the 3 finalists to make it to IT Nation Connect in November, pitch on the live stage right there in front of everybody else, which last year we had over 400 people watching this, and be able to win first place, which is $70,000, and bragging rights and a ton of, and you get to hang out with us. Let's be honest. I think that's really the victory here.
Big victory. But what's really cool is also, I know next week we're going to be at IT Nation Secure.
I'm wearing you can't see because my name tag. I'm wearing last year's shirt. There will be a new shirt this year. I think it's a pretty cool shirt that I remember, but yes.
Yeah, so there's still, I don't even know, is there still opportunity to register for IT Nation Secure? Just go to theitnation.com/secure. I tested the link myself and it works. So it is a short URL.
So. Congrats. Yes, there is still the ability to register as of right now. We're almost out of room, I think, from what I was told the other day. But then again, though, I was in Jamaica and I wasn't fully paying attention.
Well, it's understandable. But we're here actually to bring on a contestant. Let's bring on Taher. Let's hear it, Taher.
How you doing? I'm so proud. You said it great.
I'm proud he said it. So
despite all our butchering before it started, you nailed it. It's great.
Yes, Taher from MSP Camp.
Yes. See there. See, thank you, Sean, for catching me there. I forgot to say from MSP.
Don't worry, I got you, dude. I got you.
Appreciate it.
So what's up, Taher? How you doing, man?
Good. I'm doing great. Just super excited to be part of this program, and just doing these things. It's super fun. It helps me refine my pitch, and just good talking to you guys. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. Adam, I'm not going to take over yet, dude. You go.
Yeah, I was going to say, hey, Taher, the stage is yours right now. So give us your pitch. What is MSP Camp? Tell me about it, and then we can talk about you a little bit.
Oh, cool. So basically, bad content doesn't just not help an MSP. It actively hurts their reach, brand, and engagement. And this is a problem that is notorious for MSPs. And I tell MSPs, I tell members and non-members, go audit your content. Go look at your website. Go look at your social media. Go look at your blogs, everything else you're putting out. Just look at it. And in most cases, people are really disappointed. They are really disappointed because they have not been involved with the marketing. They see what's going out and they're like, oh, wow, this is terrible. So our solution is pretty simple. We create excellent content that actually engages the prospects based on their challenges and pain points, and helps turn them into leads over time.
Bring us back. All right.
I'm getting there. That was quick. That was nice. Cool.
That was, he did much. You know what? Good job, dude. You cut it down a good bit.
It's
And
like or Sean was like, no.
and it's killing you too. I know, I get it.
I don't want to talk about everything, but I'm like, all right, what's the key piece? So yeah, we solved the content problem, which is one of the biggest problems in marketing. Distribution can be processed. You can set up a nice distribution process, but if the content sucks, it's not going to do anything.
I agree with that. So, well, let's dig into content. I think it's a good starting point here. By good content, define good content.
If your content doesn't make you smile, think, or have any emotion when you're posting it, then for sure you're not going to get any of those from your prospects. So if you're the one creating the content, posting the content, it doesn't make you feel anything or doesn't make you think about anything, for sure the prospect isn't going to think about anything. So people love posting filler stuff to say we're doing it, and it means nothing.
Sure. Fair enough.
And examples of that is stock photos of two guys or girls shaking hands, business doing business things, or someone staring at a computer screen with cybersecurity on top of it. These things are totally impractical. They don't actually do anything. It's just filler content. I'd rather not post than post filler content.
I can't disagree more.
Yeah.
Because I think you have that filler content too, don't you?
What's that?
Don't you have to have filler content also? Don't you have to stay consistent?
You have to stay consistent with good content. And that's why it's so difficult. And that is my own challenge that I was facing as an MSP, because it's so hard to come up with good content. So I built the team to build the best content. So every day there's something of value going out. So there is no filler content. Because if it's on MSP Camp, it's got my stamp of approval, which means I'm happy to post it anytime.
Okay, so question on that then, just going into this a bit. We talk about good content, filler content, and whatnot. Can you give a couple examples of what's filler content? You mentioned a picture. I get that part,
Yeah.
but let's take away picture pieces. Let's actually talk about actual text.
So every piece of content really should speak to a pain point or challenge of your target market. Pretty much every piece of content. And that is rarely actually happening. So what we do before we create a campaign, and I've done this for years, this isn't just an MSP campaign, is when, while I'm marketing for an MSP, what are the actual challenges and pain points people talk to us about? Those are the things we need to focus on. Yes, we need to sell cybersecurity awareness training. Yes, we need to sell these things when they're a client. But when you're trying to lead in with that, you're trying to engage with that, that's not on their mind. And it's going to be really hard to get past that. When you're trying to sell MDR, you're trying to sell cybersecurity awareness training, you're trying to sell these things from a prospecting perspective, it just doesn't work because the prospect's not thinking about that on a daily basis. So when someone says, yeah, I have SharePoint, but I don't know how to use it. I have Microsoft 365, but I don't know how to use it. Perfect. That's a challenge and pain point. We can create content around you're using it wrong. So we show an image of a Corvette. We show an image of a beat up Kia. It says you're paying for the Corvette. You're driving it like a Kia. Like everyone they feel that because they say that. If they're saying that, it's on their mind. And they know they're paying for this expensive Microsoft 365 license, and they're using it for office products and emails. So that's one example of taking a challenge and pain point and turning it into a piece of content that someone's going to engage with. Another example is everyone, we see all the time, people use Google Chrome. It's a RAM eating monster, right?
Right. So
that one concept, and people know that, prospects that are non-technical know what RAM is. They know that it's slowing down their computer. We created an image of a RAM eating monster destroying the city. And it was one of our best performing social media content. So we created a live action video where literally our team comes running out and there's a giant CGI monster destroying the city. That live action ad that says nothing about what we do as an MSP has gotten more leads than anything else we're running on the Facebook ads right now. It's just a giant ram eating monster and we're freaked out for our life. The call to action, of course, is there's a ram eating monster destroying your business. If you want a free computer hardware review, give us a call.
I love that. Okay, so that's the next point then, right? You create this really cool image and everything, and it's funny. It's like a meme, right? People love memes or GIFs or take your pick, right? Call to actions.
Yes.
Let's talk about the circle of life with a lead and how they find you and how they witness you first. So we have outbound and inbound marketing.
Yep.
In this case, so you're working with doing that as well and helping with the call to action and bring them back to a central place. Is that part of your offer?
Always. So the campaigns, that's why we do it in different campaigns, either service specific or vertical specific, because we found both work. It doesn't always have to be, you have to target law, accounting, whatever. You could focus on specific services. You rarely want to talk about managed IT services in your marketing because, again, it's not in the prospect's mind. But cybersecurity is, so you can do a campaign around that. So all of the content points to a similar theme within the campaign. They all have a similar call to action, and it goes to a landing page. So we provide, here's what a landing page should look like. Here's the text, you can change it for yourself, and here's all the assets you need for that landing page. So no matter what builder you're using, you can add it in really quickly.
Right. Okay.
Now, one thing I will say that I see all the time on, specifically social media, but marketing is not social media. I think a lot of people, a lot of starter MSPs think social media is marketing. It's gonna be really hard to build a social media following quickly. So that can't be the only thing you're doing for marketing, right? Especially if you don't have a personal brand. But when they start putting call to actions on every social media post, so they turn their social media into, hey, I'm trying to sell with this. And actually that hurts too. It should only be about 20% of your content should be directly call to action sales in your social media. The other stuff really should be just to engage the people in your audience, make them laugh, educate them, give them a free resource, because that's what's actually going to build your audience. It's not every single time you post. It's like, make sure you sign up for a cybersecurity review, because that stuff gets old pretty quickly. Sorry.
All right, we're good. We have a good audience.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Oh, please don't say bad words. They're horrible. Keep going. You're doing well.
So call to action is super important, of course, especially if you're doing outbound, because that's expensive, right? Like if you're about to send a postcard out, you're about to send a premium direct mail piece out, you're about to be doing a telemarketing campaign, whatever you're doing on the outbound side, yeah, for sure, 100% needs to have a really solid call to action and a solid offer. Absolutely. On the inbound stuff, if you're creating a wonderful blog that you're trying to get people to your website, you can provide excellent resources with no selling in that blog at all until the very end, where it's the next call to action, of course, linking to other resources on your site in the blog. So value first has worked wonderfully for our MSP. When I started, there was 3 people. We were in a warehouse. We couldn't jump on the call when it rained because it was a tin roof, right? Now we're coming up on 4.5 million, 6 years later, 26 staff, right? So most of that has been on inbound content marketing. We've done very little outbound, because when you do value first and provide content in a way that's talking to challenges and pain points, that audience grows over time. It really does. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. And when everybody knows you in the market as being the thought leader in your city, right? I focus on my city because there's so much opportunity in my city or my county. I don't need to spread my marketing dollars all over the place. I need to be the MSP that's known as the one that's not just trying to sell you, but providing the most value all the time. I could get into all the ways we do that, but again, I'm trying to keep it as concise as possible. And all of those things, we put in guides on our site for free. Whether you're an MSP camp member or not, I want to just help the community. We put on our podcast for free. Like, hey, you want to learn how we do it? Here you go. But if you want the content side, obviously it takes a lot of time and money. So there's a minimal charge to get access to the content.
Yeah, cool. So you started touching base a little bit on your story. That's where I was going to go. It's like, hey, how'd you get into this thing? How did you just graduate college, start your MSP business? How did you stumble? And in fact, where are you located?
Yeah, so we're in Lakeland, Florida, right between Tampa and Orlando is kind of what everybody knows Lakeland as. And I was going through graduate school for my master's in healthcare administration. And then I started working my way up in a private practice and realized it was miserable. I was like, wow, this is terrible. Like, I'm a creative and I'm like, it's terrible. So my father-in-law was like, hey man, if you need something while you're in school, I'll give you an internship. So I started 7 years ago as a marketing intern, like having no idea what I was doing and just like scheduling social media posts that sucked. Over the course of those 7 years, I really started to learn a lot about marketing, specifically business to business marketing. And after a year of really grinding it out and learning, all of a sudden we started getting leads. It took a lot of time and effort building the machine. Since that first year, we've been adding about a client or two a month nonstop since year one. And a lot of that is just because we started the machine. It took a lot of time and effort, but we got it going. So it's been super fun. And then fast forward to today, I was like, hey, we have all these awesome campaigns that got us here and all this awesome content I love and we've created. We only market in our county. I was like, why don't we offer this to other MSPs that are not directly competing with us? And that's where MSP Camp was born.
Nice.
Wow.
So,
very nice.
Okay, so let's go back to something here. You're an MSP still currently?
Yes. I am the vice president of business development. So I'm not the owner. I'm on the leadership team.
Okay. And so you started this because of the success you had, because you learned marketing from where?
Mainly trial and error and YouTube. Lots of trial and error.
Did you ever hire an agency before this?
We actually had an agency before I came on for years.
Yeah.
And not many results, but they were like consistently posting blogs, consistently posting filler social media stuff. Like they were doing the things, but they weren't creating results because no one was in the business really managing it and propelling it forward.
Yep.
So I do credit the agency on at least teaching me a lot about marketing. So they actually did help a lot from that perspective, but they never really got us leads. That was mostly the effort I was doing. So about 3 or 4 years ago, we did, fire them, but we have a really good relationship with them, still connected with them and everything.
Sure. So okay. So some quick advice then you would give somebody, because, there's MSPs watching us saying, well, okay, I don't have a big of a network. So sending out content to people, that's great and all, but who's really looking at it? And how do I, why is that relevant? And what else should I do? Because my network is so small.
Yeah, that's a huge problem. I had no network when I started too. One of the easiest low-hanging fruit things I did is I added everybody on LinkedIn that has owner or president in their name in my city and the surrounding cities. I mean, that's where I started. So I got like thousands of people on LinkedIn. I started posting and engaging with them, and like literally within a few months, all of a sudden my LinkedIn is like, was really propped up.
Mm-hmm.
I did go to a lot of events, a ton of networking events, which has had a very nice ROI over the years. And what you find is the people that do engage with your social media, your emails, most of your content are people you've met in person. I mean, that's that they know who you are and they engage with your content, which props it up for the rest of it, for the rest of your connections and your audience.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big one. Inbound is really good because we really put a lot of effort into specific keywords that we're trying to go after. IT services, Lakeland. We get more Google reviews than anybody else in our city. That alone has brought a very, very nice ROI. I tell MSPs, even if you don't do marketing, just get 80 Google reviews and you're going to get more inbound leads than your competitor, because the map pack still comes up first when someone searches IT services, IT support, etc.
Right.
So that's been huge for inbounds. Then once you got them in, they ask some questions. Well, now that you get them on your nurturing emails, you get them on your tech tip emails, you invite them to those webinars, all the things you're doing on an ongoing basis. And again, we can get pretty far in the weeds here, but I put it in a nice checklist on MSP Camp for free for any MSPs. So you don't have to be a member, on the checklist of things you need to be doing. We do the remarketing, right? So to build your audience, 100% of the people that visit your website are there's a couple things. They're either clients, they're prospects, which is what you want, or they're people trying to sell you stuff, or competitors, right? So there's a lot of stuff you're going to remarket to that aren't really people you want to remarket to, but that 20% that are prospects, you want to stay in front of them as long as you can with fresh content. And when you have a lot of content like you do with MSP Camp, you can just swap it out. You can add videos, crazy videos, try whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. It's not random acts of marketing if it's part of the plan. Remarketing is part of my strategy.
Sure.
The content that goes in there, yeah, let's try something out. Let's try a ramming monster. Let's try a crazy video where there's like me in a jumpsuit screaming at the top of my lungs because my VoIP phone has me prison guard to my computer. That you can just try stuff and people appreciate it as long as it's not super corny, super forgettable, or just super salesy.
Well, I like what you said there as far as you're acknowledging. So first you targeted your audience by like you said on LinkedIn, you went and CEOs, owners, whatever, right? You started creating a network. That way at least you have people you have people that will actually see what you say.
Mm-hmm.
And then you retargeted by putting out content and getting them to come into something with a call to action somewhere. The next part, there's two levels of engagement. There's people reading your post and liking and post and sharing whatever, right? Mm-hmm. If they do, but at least reading it and seeing your name, right? Repetition. Yeah. The other part of engagement is how do you engage with them after that in conversation, keeping them in some sort of place. So like I found and Adam actually has 2 Facebook groups for this.
Oh, nice.
Exactly. Yeah, ConnectWise, Tips and Tricks, and CW Boss, right? And those are all happening not where he's selling himself, but it's a great place to congregate, right?
Yep.
And that's why I think that's why people also miss out on the opportunity to do so. And not saying that people should go out and create a Facebook group by any means, but send them to a group that you actively are in, that you're a huge contributor to, and that people will also refer you, by the way.
Yeah.
Like if you sell, I mean, I did it with VoIP for years. I built a brand in VoIP. I never sold VoIP, but I became a go-to by sending them to places that, hey, oh, you're an MSP, you should be in these groups. Oh, you use ConnectWise, you should be on CW Boss so you can learn about other stuff. And then when they'll still post the question like, who should I use for VoIP? And people are like, you should talk to Sean.
Yeah.
So, I think there's like you said, there's a strategy behind it, and they have to start to apply it.
Yeah, Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson was one. I read so many marketing books, but that's the one that really clicked for me to help improve even more. Is like, yeah, where are people at? Where are they congregating? Provide value there, and you're going to get leads. Like, it's very simple. People
Where
overcomplicate
people hang out.
sometimes.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I absolutely love kind of your approach. And it's like, hey, as an MSP owner, when I was an MSP owner, I was like, oh, I need to get to that next city because there's not enough stuff locally. Right. And I think that's just, it's a horrible idea unless you actually have your home base really dialed in. And only then is when you should expand. Right.
Yeah.
And, it's just.
And when everybody's working with us in Lakeland, everyone starts working with us. Like I went to a sales meeting this morning and they're like, oh yeah, you were referred by this person. I asked someone else, they were using you too. And I sent the quote. They're probably going to prove it today. Cause it's like, it's also all the social proof you need.
Yep.
And then they look at the Google reviews, they look at the website, they look how active we are. And they're just like, okay, yeah, I mean, this looks like a legitimate, like nice business. That's like local. They're not some corporate craziness with stock photos on the website. Unfortunately, there's me on the top of the website holding like a Surface Pro. No one else would take the picture. So I was like, all right, fine.
So I'm curious with MSP Camp and you got your start that kind of doing this whole marketing, plugging in emotion. I, didn't know anything about MSP Camp. I went to the website and now I'm seeing some pretty cool ads coming across my social feed. And it is like, it's a game, right? I'm like, oh, what is this? This is MSP Camp playing games. It's like, it initially got me certainly to look at it more.
Nice.
So kudos to you, but I'm just curious what traction you've kind of gained so far, with MSP Camp. Where are you at with the company?
Yeah. So we're now at 105 members.
Nice.
About 80% of that's from the podcast. And on the podcast, we don't sell. Like it's literally, we just provide as much value as we can. And like I said, people are congregating. We have MSP in our keyword. So someone searches MSP, we organically started coming up. I got as many reviews as possible. So we have more reviews than almost any other MSP podcast. And all of a sudden we got more and more traction. And so that's where 80% of our members are coming from now. And so now we're going, okay, cool. We're getting revenue in, I think we're at like 15K MRR. We're like, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and start adding some advertising in. So we don't have a huge marketing budget. So where do we start? Remarketing the people that visited our site. And so we're at about, 105 members. We have some really good plans to grow that a lot this year. My goal is to be at 250 by the end of the year. That'd be a really comfortable spot and really help me invest in a lot of these ideas that I've been thinking of on the roadmap. But yeah, on that remarketing thing, it's funny. Like this is an example of content, right? We had guides. We had an ad where it's like, here's all these free guides. That did okay. And we did like, here's some templates we have. So we started like the classic salesy advertising. Finally, I was like, okay, we built this custom game because I wanted my landing page to stand out. So we built a custom game. We used someone on Fiverr. And I was like, why don't we just throw me playing the game on this ad? And that's what's gotten us more members from those ads than anything else. Any of the other ads we're running, it's literally me playing a video game. So it just goes to show it's more really about getting attention than anything. Like it's more about just getting attention than anything else. Like why did Geico do so well? It's not because they have better insurance than everybody else. It's a freaking Geico. Or it's a gecko. That's it. Right? It's just a gecko. And it's like some of the greatest ad, almost one of the greatest ads of all time was Dr. Squatch's video that played on YouTube where it's like natural soap. It's the most ridiculous video and it's super vulgar. And it took their sales, I think it was like from like 4 million to 30 million in a year, something wild. And that video didn't even really, it talked about the soap, but it was more about because it was just entertaining. It was something people wanted to watch. Sorry about going on the rant, but someone said something that really stuck with me. Everybody hates advertising, but everybody loves advertising in particular. So if I asked you, what is your favorite ad?
Favorite ad for me. I'm partial to progressive commercials at this point. I think they're witty. I think they're extremely. I love the witty banter humor that's almost like dad joke material in a way.
Yeah.
Like when they're like, let's take the family picture. And he's like, oh, let's go by the RV. And they're taking a picture of the RV and the boat. And she's like, let me go on and she gets on the motorcycle and he comes over with the leaf blower and is blowing her hair. As she said, like, it's so cheesy and corny, but it's great. I mean, it is phenomenal.
Yeah.
For me, it's the Liberty Mutual.
Liberty
Liberty Mu. the emu. It's
Man,
like, why the hell is an emu in the middle of New York City? Or
Why the hell is there an emo in the middle of New York City?
why the heck
Exactly.
is this emu like carrying this thing? So,
And
those,
that type of content makes up probably 0.5% of content that's created by businesses. So all we really have to do is get in that 0.5% of content quality, and we're making such a large impact in our competing MSPs.
Isn't it funny? We went right to insurance companies that like they have the best commercials. It used to be beer commercials that were great. It used to be like stuff, but no, it's now insurance companies.
And
The
everybody,
driest industry in the world.
exactly. Everybody says, "Oh, well, IT is not exciting. Technology is not exciting. It's hard to get attention." It's like insurance companies, which is the most boring thing in the world, are killing it with marketing.
Yes. I mean, yes. The answer is yes to that. And also, I mean, but can we just dive in real quick too? How important it is though for the individuals that work in the business to be part of this and to understand what's going on and to be part of the actual overall brand of it all.
Extremely important. And that's why I always say don't outsource your marketing. I'm not saying you can't outsource any parts of your marketing, but I just know that when we had someone here, me, it's not that I'm amazing. It's just I had the time dedicated to marketing the MSP, and I started running the sales meetings. So whoever you are, whether you're the owner or the marketing person, talk to sales as much as you possibly can. They're the ones that are hearing from the prospects all the time. They're the ones hearing the challenges. If marketing and sales are siloed, you're screwed. It's not going to work. I had the benefit of being the marketing and sales guy for years. So I knew exactly what content to create. Most times that's not the case. Most of the times it's a salesperson who's cold calling all day. They're not getting leads from the marketing agency. Marketing agency is creating the same generic crap that they're doing for every MSP. And it's not the agency's fault, because the agency needs input from the MSP. The MSP doesn't provide any input as to what makes them unique or valuable, what their actual USP is. So what does the agency do? The cookie cutter approach, because they got to get something going. So my answer to that is heavily involved. The owner should not be scheduling out any content. They should not be distributing the content, but they should help to teach the marketing, hey, this is some important topics that help our clients. One of the best examples of this is when I was in the sales meetings. I had one compliance company that was, or a client or prospect that was talking about business premium, Microsoft 365 business premium. This was years ago. It was before I even knew what business premium was. So we had to get our arms around business premium. And lo and behold, Microsoft 365 business premium is the golden age of IT, with Intune and DLP and conditional access policies and everything else that the prospect was caring about. Every sales meeting I led in with business premium, and it literally helped my conversion. So I was like, cool, that's the content I'm going to create.
And that makes sense. Adam, are you good? Because I know you're looking pixelated.
I'm good. Just a little bandwidth issues, trying to stream.
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, I just make sure so you can hear everything. Is there any questions you have first?
Yeah, no questions right now. So I mean, probably just as we're continuing down, I'm trying to think of like what is the go-to-market strategy, right? I'm just browsing around on your website, and it's like looks like you're locked up by county, and so how do you? I guess because I'm like, well, can you have multiple people in one kind of area targeting using the same similar ads? Like, can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So we went with the county lock because, again, the content's unique. It's going to stand out. So we don't want two MSPs in the same area using the same content. That's important to us. And so even though it limits our growth a lot, early adopters are going to get in, they're going to lock in. That being said, it was a bit of a bummer because a lot of people got locked out pretty quickly. So we created the Scout Plus tier, which is non-geo-locked, where it's like, hey, here's some starter content to at least improve your social media. You can start sending some direct mail pieces out. We're adding infographics, sales sheets. We're adding stuff in there that the MSP can improve their content right away, but they understand it's not locked. So if they're locked out of Ranger and Leader, which are the $100 tier and the $300 tier, they can still go with the Scout Plus, which is much, it's like $30 a month, because again, a lot of the value is your competitors are locked out. So it's going to be a lot cheaper to be in the Scout Plus.
So you're not having people have the same content going out in the same region to the same audience is what's That's what you don't have happening, which is important.
On the Ranger and Leader. On Scout Plus, yes, they are sending out. They can't be sending out the same content, but there's not many people there yet. But eventually, yeah, we're gonna have, a lot of content there. People can't be using the same content on the Scout Plus.
Okay.
That being said, the way we're a little different from other services is how we do it is not, hey, you get a campaign a month, and everyone sends out the same campaign. I've seen that a couple places. I'm like, that sounds crazy. What we do is we have lots of campaigns on there, and we're building one every 2 months. We're about to accelerate that to one a month. So it's not about what are you sending out this month. It's like, what are you trying to, what do you want to market this month? Or this quarter? Are you doing co-managed? Are you doing cybersecurity? Are you going after legal? So now, even if there are people close to each other, the likelihood of them using the same campaign with as many as we have in there is extremely low.
That's fair. Okay. So I have one question real quick though, too, about this. People that are, we've covered a lot, and it becomes a lot of work, right? For an MSP. That's what they're going to hear. Like, holy hell, all these responsibilities.
Yep.
How do you ensure that they're successful in doing that?
A couple ways. We have the ultimate MSP marketing checklist. It's like, hey, this is what you need to be doing, right? It's a checklist. Check, 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 check. To build your marketing foundation, it's fairly simple. Make sure you have a case study or two. Make sure you're getting video testimonials. Make sure you get more Google reviews than anybody else in your city, which is a very easy thing to do. Here's your actionable items, right? To make sure you have a foundation built. Make sure you're posting on social media every day. So it's systemize it, makes it simple. And then the other thing we do is when someone's ready to go, okay, I'm ready. So outside of the ultimate checklist, it's like, I'm ready to run this campaign. It's like, cool. Well, here's another checklist. This is how you schedule your social media posts so you can schedule it for the whole month. You don't have to worry about social media. It's going out. Here's how you post your blog. Here's, the tools you should use to optimize it for certain keywords. Here's how you can change it to make it a little more you. So here's every aspect of the campaign. Here's how you send your postcards out to that targeted list. Here's how you get your list, right? So again, we just make it two primary checklists. One is the foundation building, and two is the campaign implementation. One of the things we're working, and so if you do those things correctly, it is going to take about 10 to 15 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I highly, highly recommend someone get an intern or a coordinator. And we have guides on how to do that. Here's the job description. Here's the questions. Here's how you train them.
You're enabling them on all aspects from day one and onboarding them, even involving, here's a job description of who you should hire to.
Yes.
To actually fulfill this.
Yep. And we don't onboard the marketing coordinator at the MSP. We basically refer them to the guides. Like we have a coordinator start at MSP Camp or Alltech, and she said she got up to speed by listening to the podcast and reading the guides. She said she knew everything she needed to know.
Awesome.
So that's like cool. Like literally, I'm eating my own dog food. Like that's how I trained my coordinator.
I love that. See, okay. So they have access to your videos that they can watch on how to learn, and it's on YouTube.
So those are guides. They're like ebooks. The video, there's an onboarding course that anybody, Scout, free member, Scout Plus, Ranger, Leader, they can get into the onboarding where we go over the website, we go over the content, we go over those checklists. And one thing we're building right now, and it's going to be published this year, is the marketing coordinator guide. This is for sure, no doubt in my mind, going to be the most comprehensive marketing course in the world for MSPs, for sure, because I've seen them all. And it is super actionable. Like we are going, okay, cool. You want to post a blog? It's not like post on WordPress. It's like we're getting in there. We're using the plugin. We're showing how to go after it. We're showing in Search Console what to look for month after month. So that coordinator course, I'm super excited about. It's taking a lot of time, but it is going to probably be like our like a keystone piece of this whole thing.
Yeah. Nice.
Awesome.
Appreciate that. So Taher, so this is a competition, right?
Yeah.
To bring it kind of back just a little bit, if you won a prize, the prize money, I'm just curious, what would you do with that prize money?
Go to all the conferences. I would just go to all the conferences. Not all of them, but maybe that would probably budget like 2. But I would go to 2 conferences.
I was like, maybe you haven't looked to see the marketing budget requirements.
I would go to 1 conference. I would go to a conference.
I would go halvesy with somebody on a conference.
I'm gonna go. Wait, only one. Yeah,
Well,
conferences are pricey, but it's So it's well worth the investment for sure. And definitely you can hit up a lot. I know the exact target that would really, really suit you well. The conferences, Sean and I are both going to quite a few together here coming up.
Yep,
So
we are.
and that's definitely target market, target rich environment for you. Definitely.
Yes.
Like IT Nation Secure coming next week.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
No, for sure. Yeah. And that's what like I preach, I practice what I preach. Like the best way to build audience is actually meeting them. And it's, that's why I want to go and meet them and get people engaged with us.
Absolutely. Nice. So one last question, wrap this thing up. What is one key message you'd like the audience to know about your product or service?
The first episode we launched in the podcast was called Stop Using Shit Content, and it's still our most listened to episode. So for everyone listening to this right now, stop using shit content. I think that would be the key message. Yeah.
There
I
you
don't know if
go.
I could drop this, but
That's
I love
perfect.
it.
I love it. For sure. Sean, closing thoughts here.
You know what? First off, it was a good conversation. Thank you, there. I really appreciate it.
thank you. I appreciate you guys.
You're in the space of where, as you know, MSPs hate to need your service.
Yeah.
They don't want to deal with it. They want to nerd out and veg out on their stuff that they do. And one of the biggest challenges you see in every single conference and every single group, the biggest conversation piece is how to grow the business.
Yeah.
And they struggle with that. So you have an uphill battle.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you guys, the way you put content together and you've made it simple and you've talked about being human and engaging, which I appreciate that. And that you give simple things. So I like that, I do hope to see you at conferences. I think you need to get out there as much as you can.
I'm definitely down. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm just curious how this shakes up because, in this year's competition, we have like 4 or 5 vendors that are marketing and sales related that are competing, which is a big deal because last year we had 1.
Okay.
So it's good. I'm glad to see it. So you're gonna have some stiff competition, man.
I love it. I'm pretty competitive, so that excites me more and scares me.
But yeah,
awesome.
Only closing note is come see us at IT Nation Secure next week and make sure that everybody watches these live streams.
Yeah, for sure. We get to have fun next week at IT Nation Secure. We're gonna bring some guests on live in person, so this will be great. Sean, I think you're gonna bring down some good audio equipment, maybe, hopefully, that we can plug into this thing.
Yeah,
I love the content. I love the concept. I love the camp mindset. Like, hey, Sierra Pacific Group, we're an outdoorsy company. I live in California. It's an amazing place. And I love what's going on your website. So definitely check it out and appreciate it. And good luck on the competition.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks. And I really appreciate you guys having me on. This has been super fun. I feel like I just talked the whole time, but I really appreciate you guys. And this has been awesome.
You did talk an awful lot. I mean,
just too much caffeine.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right.
Peace
Thanks,
out.
guys.
Thanks, Derek.
All right. See y'all.